Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Tonight we have a late night insight video, and it's actually going to be a double header because on one hand we have an unboxing, and the unboxing is going to consist of two packages, both of which were actually very kindly sent to me. So one was sent, well, they were both sent by friends, but one was sent by a friend that wants to remain anonymous, and the other is a friend that I can actually let you know about. So let's do the anonymous one first. And this is one of my perfume god people who has actually sent me a lot of stuff in the past, and he has always wanted to remain anonymous. And so a lot of the fragrances that I was able to do videos, reviews on, came from him, very kindly came from him. And so you guys have him to thank for many of my previous videos that I did. And so what he sent me here is this little bad boy. And this is a decant of a scent from the house of Elsha. And this is called 1776 Cologne. And this has actually been on my wish list for a very long time because I've known about it for a while. And what this is, to my understanding, this is a Russian leather, and I absolutely love Russian leather fragrances. Leather fragrances in general are one of my favorite categories of fragrances, you could say. And so this is a real treat to have. Let me mark it on my sheet here so I know that I have it. It's going to go into the rotation. 1776 by Elsha Cologne. Yeah, it's literally, it has one note listed, and that is Russian leather. So I don't know how old his bottle is. All I know is he has a connection to this fragrance because he was telling me, I think his uncle or maybe a family member of his actually wore this as their scent of the day. And so smelling this kind of really takes him back. And so he was interested to see what I thought about it. So I'm very excited to get to do a video on this one day. So thank you very much, my friend. I really, really appreciate your kindness. It means a lot. It really allows me to, from the kindness of the community, it really allows me to put out more content because I can't buy everything. Obviously, I'm just one person, and most of what you see behind me is purchased with my own money. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. Okay, so that takes care of the anonymous sender. Now, the person who does not need to remain anonymous and is definitely getting a shout out is from the great Anuj, Enchante, and he sent me this. And what ended up happening is, long story short, is I did a blind sniff video, and that blind sniff video was put together by Armando. And Armando sent me something in that blind sniff video that I decided, you know what, I did want after all. At first, I pretty much talked myself out of getting any of the flankers of Kouros. I said, you know what, I have the original and that's more than enough for me. And what ended up happening is I ended up getting this flanker. So this flanker was sent to me by Armando in a blind sniff video, and when I smelled it, it's actually Kouros Ode Sport, the very first sport flanker of Kouros. So here it is. This is a tester bottle, and man, I can smell it right here. You can see it right here. You can see some of the juice right there. Oh my God. So let's see if there's notes or anything like that. So the bottle is actually plastic. How outrageous. And so here is the note listing. Well, wait a minute. That's not a note listing. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the French. So if anyone wants to do the old the old translate and put it in the comments, be my guest. But basically, and look, this is a plastic little atomizer, so you can put it in your gym bag. How cool is that? Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna wear this to work tomorrow. Oh, I see what happened. So this cap, okay, so this cap actually does not fit all the way down and lock it. Okay. That must be why some of it got on the outside right there. Oh, it smells amazing though. Okay, maybe I won't bring this to work tomorrow. Maybe my workmates are saved. So this is a Charles of the Ritz bottle. So thank you, Anuj. Very, 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 very kind of you to send this to me. And you know, it's something that I thought I didn't want. And you know what? When I first smelled it, if you go watch that early impression video, I basically smelled it and I was like, did you just put Kouros in here, Armando? What what is this? This has to be Kouros. And sure enough, it was Kouros Ode de Sport. And so the Ode de Sport came out in Kouros Ode de Sport. Came out in 1986, and it is frankincense, artemisia, carnation, coriander, forest herbs, galbanum, jasmine, musk, oak moss, patchouli, rose, vanilla, and vetiver. And it is long discontinued. It's the very first sport flanker. So yes, good stuff. I think the non-tester bottle, if I'm not mistaken, the non-tester bottle had the built-in sprayer, just like the regular little Kouros, you know, bottle, if you will, with the built-in sprayer. So the tester bottle must be the one that has this plastic sprayer here. Either way, absolute honor to have it. So stoked, very stoked. Okay, so check out Anuj at Enchante. I'll link his website in the description below in the video, but you guys know Anuj by now. Enchante Perfumes.com. But I'll put a link for those of you who are new who are watching this video. Okay, so let's talk about the fragrance that we wanted to discuss on the Late Night Insight, and that is going to be, for the very first time on the channel, actually I've never talked about this brand on the channel. I own 0 bottles from this brand. And this is a brand called Zaharoff. And so George Zaharoff is the owner. He is pretty well known in Fragcom. You'll see him in different circles. He joins different streams. He's been on Eugene's stream a couple times. And this is Signature Pour Homme is what this one's called. And Signature Pour Homme is a fragrance that came out in 2018. And this is basically the flagship masculine scent by the brand, okay? And it was perfumed by a gentleman named Claude Durr. And Claude Durr, there's a very interesting story behind George Zaharoff and Claude Durr. So apparently they worked together previously, in a previous life. Maybe even before 9/11, I think he was saying. I can't remember how far back their relationship goes, but he was saying that basically he had lost contact with him, and he considered Claude Durr to be his perfumer. He was like the guy that he wanted working on his perfumes. And so one day he's at this airport, and he's saying that he's basically having this mental breakdown almost of sorts. Can't find my perfumer, nothing's going right. You know, I don't know how to get in touch with him, on and on and on. And he says he ran into this woman who worked at the airport or was there on a flight with him, or I can't exactly remember the story, but the gist of the story is, you know, he was saying, I can't find my perfumer, and the woman said, well, tell me who it is. And he was saying, oh, you're not going to know who it is. It's a perfumer. And she was like, try me. And so he told her who it is. And she said, oh, guess what? He's my next door neighbor. Pulls out the phone. Bam. There's there's his number. And they reconnect, and they then start building the new Zaharoff fragrances together. That's the story anyways. It's a nice story. And if it's true, it's absolutely awesome. So basically, this fragrance came out in 2018. And the reason that we're having this discussion today, I've been sitting on this. Where'd my decant go? So, and you can see I've given it a fair amount of sprays. I've been sitting on this for, I don't know, a year, probably a year. It's been just sitting here, collecting dust, waiting to be discussed. And the reason we're talking about it today, of all days, is I actually woke up today and I got a message, an Instagram message from the Scented Devil. And we talked about a lot of different fragrances today, but one of the fragrances that we talked about was Zaharoff Signature. And like I said, I've been sitting on the sample forever. I own 0 Zaharoff fragrances, so I figured, what the heck, let's talk about it since it's front of mind. Plus, I sprayed it because I wanted to talk with the Scented Devil about it. So, since this is a late night insight video, and I'm not going to go into a ton of, I'm not going to ramble for an hour on Zaharoff Signature, the best explanation that I can give you is that it actually comes directly from Veneris Rodari while we were chatting about it. He said that this scent is like Bleu d'Escada Gauche L'Oreal Homme by Maison Yves de Chanel. So I hope he doesn't mind me quoting that, but it really is the perfect way to describe the scent. And he isn't wrong, as usual. His perfume knowledge and his sense of what is going on in a fragrance is spot on. And so this is the biggest weakness of this fragrance is also its biggest strength, because it is trying to be everything to everybody. It is trying to cast the absolute widest, largest net. It's trying to ensnare everyone that likes just about everything. And once we talk a little bit more about that, you'll understand, exactly what I mean. So, it's trying to be everything to everybody in a nutshell. And there is this, so the first thing it's trying to be is it's trying to be a barbershop fragrance. So if you think of fragrances like this is 1725 by Histoire de Parfum. It has this powdery sort of lavender, very herbal lavender, and almond and vanilla. Minus the vanilla. There's no vanilla in Zaharoff Signature, but think about that lavender barbershop fresh DNA, right? That sort of freshness that you get from a barbershop fragrance. Beautiful lavender. Lavender is a very relaxing note, by the way. It's a very calming, very relaxing, very traditionally masculine note. And you get that French lavender in Zaharoff Signature. Okay, so the lavender is there in this barbershop style. Fougere barbershop style. And so you could also think of fragrances like this. If you wanted to go even further back into the past, this is Rive Gauche pour Homme by YSL. And this is a lovely star anise lavender. This is a creation by Jacques Cavalier, created this bad boy. Discontinued now, unfortunately, but one of the best barbershop fragrances I think money can buy. It smells a little bit like shaving foam, this sort of freshness of just shaving and having that shaving foam on your face. There's a little bit of that there, right? And imagine sort of the herbs and spices that might go inside of a aftershave after getting a shave at a barber, right? That's a little bit about what you get here. And you get some of that in Zaharoff Signature. However, it is modernized, and that's the biggest takeaway that I want to leave you with when it comes to Zaharoff Signature. This is a very modern scent, okay? This is a scent for people that they don't want to smell this, okay? They don't want to wear vintage. They want to wear something modern, and they want to wear something that's very attractive to the vast majority of people because maybe they're seeking compliments, or maybe they just want to smell like a modern man. They don't want to smell of a man from decades gone past. They want to smell modern. And this fragrance does that in spades. 100% it does that, okay? So the next thing you're going to notice is that there's this woody element here, this very modern woody element to the fragrance. And that modern woody element is listed with a couple different types of woods. So there's Virginia cedar, there's provincial blue cedar, there is a note called blue cypress. Now, one thing I should mention is that Parfumo shows blue cedar, and the Zaharoff website actually shows blue cypress. So I'm inclined to believe the Zaharoff website, but Parfumo does say blue, provincial blue cedar. So just one bit of one distinction there. And also Australian sandalwood in the base. So there's this woody aspect to the scent, but it smells like a very modern woody scent. It doesn't smell like a vintage sandalwood scent or anything like that. It has these very modern elements about it. And it smells like there is a ton, an absolute metric ton of ISOE Super in this scent. Big ISOE Super. This thing projects like hell. I mean, this thing projects a football field. If you go heavy with the sprayer on this, everyone in the entire room will smell you. There's absolutely no doubt about that, okay? Very modern, woody smell. And you're going to pick that up almost instantly, okay? So just from the description so far, you're probably thinking, okay, mass appealing. I mentioned barbershop-y, fougere. I mentioned that it has the ISOE Super, that sort of modern woodiness. Now you're going to add some more dimensions to this, these parts that compete for the soul of the fragrance, if you will. And that's one of the biggest problems is there are all these different competing aspects. None of them really stand out, okay? So the next thing that kind of is worth mentioning is this very modern blue scent. All right, so when you think of a blue fragrance, what do you think of? Do you think of something like this? This is what I think of, Sauvage. Now, this is the Parfum, which is my favorite personally. I prefer the Parfum. I actually prefer the, I prefer whatever the modern Sauvage is. I forgot what it was called even. But the Parfum or the newer one, Elixir, are probably my favorite versions of Sauvage. But in this version, they tone the ambroxan down way, way, you know, the EDT is extreme ambroxan. And it's also very metallic. So it tones that metallic aspect down. And what they've done is they've added a really beautiful sandalwood here. This is not a bad fragrance. This gets a bad rep, but as far as blue scents go, this is like my one blue fragrance, okay? And Rich Mitch is right. He says you only need one blue scent because they all do the same thing, and he's spot on right. So this is my one blue scent for me, the Parfum version of Sauvage. I think it's more mature. And so there's this blue element to Zaharoff Signature, and the blue element makes it feel you know, like it has that modern ambroxan smell. And it does. It absolutely does. There's no getting around it. So now we're piling more things on top, right? It's almost like which straw is going to break the camel's back. That's what it feels like to me. And so the mother of mass appealing scents is that blue ambroxan, and it's here. And then, now to me, that's a lot of things, but there's more. There's a Florentine iris note in the mid. That Florentine iris note in the mid will remind you a little bit of Dior Homme. There's no getting around it. So there's a little bit of this Dior Homme touch. So whenever I think about all these things that they're doing, I think that what Zaharoff and Claude Durr decided to do is they tried to sort of cast this very wide net. So they said, okay, if you like Dior Homme, you wore Dior Homme in 2005, 2006, 2007, 8, 9, 10, whatever it may be. You know, you like that sort of DNA. We're going to give you a little bit of that, almost like a little appetizer of it to try to draw you in, right? If you like that blue scent, if you like the Sauvage DNA, we're going to give you a little bit of that. If you like the barbershop fougères, we're going to give you a little bit of the lavender. We're going to give you a little bit of the herbs and spices. We're going to draw you in with the barbershop fougères. And finally, if you like oud, okay? Because there is a modern oud scent here, and it's this. Well, it's not this, but it's this DNA, this sort of oud DNA in scents like this. So you could take something like MFK's Oud. You could take something like Versace Oud. You could take Tom Ford's Oud. You could take so many of these modern oud scents, right, that are using black oud or whatever the material of the month is that these houses are using, Nor Limbinol, black oud, and all these other things, and creating this oud profile. It's here, okay? They say, Zaharoff says Indonesian oud. I don't know. I have no clue. It just smells like sort of a designer-esque oud, in my opinion. But when you add on that there is this this oud thing going on top of it all, so what have they left out? Have they left anything out of the you know, of the types? They basically tried to hit all of the main pillars of modern perfumery, all of them. They tried to hit every single one, and they pretty much succeeded. And there are all these different parts all fighting for center stage. So, you know, it's almost like a little bit of a stunt. It's like a stunt to capture the it's sort of like a stunt to capture somebody who is going to smell and make a decision instantly, okay? And to be fair, this is a very modern, posh scent. It smells very, you know, it smells like an architect came in and built it to smell very futuristic and very high class, right? It has that modern masculine man feel about it. This 21st century man feel about it, if you will, whatever you want to call it. It has it. And one of the reasons why I actually enjoy the scent, I think it's a good fragrance, is the detail. So once you get past all of the crazy parts vying for position, all of the you know, elbowing, trying to take center stage by the different parts of this fragrance. And you know what? I mean, you could make the case and say, well, you can almost in your brain try and pick the part that's going to take over. So you want to smell a little bit of Dior Homme? Think about Dior Homme and smell it, and you can pretty much try to pick out that Florentine iris. Or you want a little bit of the woodiness? Smell it, and you can pick out this this sort of blue cypress in the top, and you know, the creamy sandalwood in the base, and you know, that kind of thing. And cypress is a very to me, it's a very healing type of scent. It has this healing property to it, and you get a little bit of that in here. You get some of the blonde cedar from Virginia. You get the oud. So there's a lot of woody scents. So you like woody scents, you can pick them out. You like blue scents, you can come pick out that ambroxan. So you can almost pick and choose what you prefer to allow your nose to smell in the scent when you wear it. And that's the brilliance of this scent, is it casts a very wide net. And so unless you're someone that smelled thousands and thousands of fragrances, you may not pick out this sort of clash, this war for being in center stage on this scent. Which one's going to take center stage, right? What's it going to be? And they basically built this scent and say, well, we covered all bases. Now you choose what you like the best. And so it's not shite. I think it's a good scent. I've definitely smelled worse modern perfumery, I'll tell you that. The bit that I would say takes this from just to a like for me is the fact that the details are there. So what I mean by the details is I kind of set the foundation. Now you can start talking about the details. And the details are that you can pick out, for example, in the top, this very juicy pear note. You can get the Guatemalan cardamom. You can get the pepper, the black pepper that they say is from Zanzibar, which this is a trend lately to always say that, you know, your cardamom is not just fresh cardamom, it's from Guatemala. And your lavender is from the southern area of France. And your pepper is not just black pepper, it's black pepper from Zanzibar. And your cypress is provincial cypress. And your ginger roots come from India. And your blonde cedar comes from Virginia. And your temple oud comes from Indonesia. And your Florentine iris, of course, comes from Italy. Pimento leaves from Jamaica. Fir balsam from Canada. You know, and they always give off, or they try to give off this impression that, oh, we're just like searching the globe for the greatest materials of all time. And maybe some of that's true, maybe some of it's marketing. But I will say that there are details in this scent. So even though there's this weird trying to be everything for everyone bit to this scent, which I don't really like, and I see exactly what they're doing, and I think it's smart on one level. And on the other hand, it does turn me off. Okay, as someone that smelled a lot of fragrances, this sort of tactic of trying to cast the widest net turns me off a little bit. But I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it for market share and money, and to, you know, try to capture as many people as they can on first sniff. And I completely get that. Once you get past that, though, there are details. So I mentioned the juicy pear. I mentioned the spices, the pepper and the cardamom. There's a little bit of ginger in the heart. There's Canadian fir balsam in the heart. There's pimento leaves in the heart. There's Chinese myrrh. Very introspective note is myrrh. But so there's this myrrh and black amber note. They say black amber, so this amber-like note in the base. And so the amberiness may give off this, this amber wood-like vibe, if you will, in the base. That may put some people off. There are some people that really don't like amber woods. A little bit of this ambery myrrh-like thing in the dry down with some Ethiopian frankincense and Indonesian patchouli. So I say all that to say that there definitely are details to the scent. And I think it's a decent modern masculine. Would I buy this? Hell no, absolutely not. Well, first of all, I think it's overpriced. The price is $135 for 60 mil or $195 for 4 ounces. Okay, so you know, for 120 mil, almost $200. I don't know. I think if these ever hit discounters, they would be a decent price at, you know, half price or whatever it is. But for me, and even at half price, I probably wouldn't buy it just because I don't think I would wear this type of perfume nowadays. I'm past this stage in my journey. However, if you are not past this stage in your journey, if you're newer to trying different fragrances and you went from, maybe you only wore Sauvage, but the EDT, let's say, or maybe you only wore Bleu de Chanel, or, you know, one of those more modern designers, right? And you wanted to sort of take the next step. Zaharoff Signature is a good next step modern masculine fragrance. But if you're like me and you have over 500 fragrances, over 600 fragrances, this is not something I think that's going to move you and make you jump out of your chair and that kind of thing, right? So so that's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm glad I got to wear it and enjoy it and talk about it. I hope the video you found helpful. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing, which I think is absolutely awesome. And I can't wait to talk about Elsha 1776. So thanks to my perfume god person. So thank you everyone for watching. If you have experience with Zaharoff or Kouros Ode Sport or anything like that, do leave a comment. Love to see your faces down below. I still get to respond to every single comment, which is a joy and a blessing. So cheers, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.